All right, what's up, guys? Brian back here with another video recap. This time recapping this week's episodes of AEW Dark Elevation, as well as the Raw after WrestleMania, where WrestleMania was a two-night event this weekend, on Saturday and Sunday. And a lot of things went down there, and I will cover them when I get into the Raw recap. But this was my first time watching AEW Dark Elevation. I know it's been on for this is their fifth week. But this is my first. I have not had a chance to go back and watch the 4 episodes prior. But this AEW Dark Elevation kind of seems like it's another version of AEW Dark that happens on Tuesday nights. A lot of matches, over 2 hours. So let's just get into it. We had Dark Orders number 10, or Dark Orders 10, defeating Zach Clayton in the opening match. We had Miro defeating Hayden Backlund in one-on-one competition. Ty Conti and the AEW Women's World Champion Hikaru Shida defeated Catalina Perez and Layla Gray. TH2 picked up a victory in tag team competition as they defeated Carly Bravo and Dean Alexander. Orange Cassidy, he defeated John Schuyler in one-on-one action. Danny Limelight, he lost to the debuting, and I'm sorry if I butcher this name, Konosuke Takeshita. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name, but Konosuke picking up the win over Danny Limelight. FTR of the Pinnacle, they were in tag team competition. They picked up a win over Midas Black and Jay Lyon. Pac and Ray Phoenix built momentum heading into this Wednesday night's AEW Tag Team title match, where they will challenge the Young Bucks for the Tag Team Championships. They defeated Very Morales and Andre Montoya. Dante Martin of Top Flight, he picked up a win in one-on-one action against Baron Black. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, she defeated Sky Blue, continuing to try to work her way up to the number 1 contendership in the Women's World Championship rankings. QT Marshall and Nick Camarado, New Attitudes themselves, along with Aaron Solo and Anthony Ogogo. They turned on Cody and the Nightmare family, and they went their ways. They went their own ways. Basically, they turned on Cody on an episode of Dynamite, I think a few weeks, I think it was like maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that. So QT Marshall and Nick Camarado, they picked up a win in tag team action, defeating Cole Carter and Andrew Palace. MT Nakazawa, or Michael Nakazawa, he lost to Mike Seidel of the Seidels. A little bit later on in the show, Kenny Omega would interrupt an interview that Alex Marvez was doing with Konosuke Takeshita, and he would basically have a match made for next week's episode, I believe, of AEW Dark Elevation, in which Konosuke would team up with Michael Nakazawa to take on the Seidel brothers, but he had Konosuke thinking that it was going to be him, that Kenny Omega was going to be the one that was teaming up with Konosuke, but Kenny told Konosuke that no, it's going to be your tag team partner is going to be Michael Nakazawa. So that looks like that's going to be a match signed for next week. Legit Layla Hirsch. She picked up a win over Shana. Penta Elzero Miedo. He was in one-on-one action against Brandon Cutler, and he defeated Brandon Cutler in a one-on-one match. Thunder Rosa defeated Diamante. Scorpio Sky and All Ego Ethan Page defeated Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela in tag team action. And in the main event, it was the Best Friends defeating Ryan Nemeth and Cesar Bononi to end this week's episode of AEW Dark Elevation. Now moving on to WWE Raw. Coming off the heels of WrestleMania, where, as I mentioned, a lot of things happened. Lashley retained the WWE Championship. Rhea Ripley defeated Asuka to become the new Raw Women's Champion, plus a whole bunch more. So we started off Raw with a segment that happened earlier in the day between Riddle and the WWE Champion Bobby Lashley. Riddle basically was mocking Lashley from what he's been saying the last few weeks about anybody that wants an opportunity to step up, and if the same thing that happened to Miz when Lashley fought him is going to happen to them, and this led to Lashley knocking out Riddle and then saying that he'll have a match with him tonight. So that was the opening match. Lashley defeating Riddle with the Hurt Lock, just like he did Drew McIntyre this past Saturday on night 1 of WrestleMania. We heard from the new Raw Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley, talking about her victory over Asuka last night at night 2 of WrestleMania and the rematch tonight. The Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar are back. Ivar made his return after a long absence due to a neck injury, and they were successful in tag team competition against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. We heard from Asuka, who cut a promo or backstage interview where she talked about WrestleMania and losing the title to Rhea Ripley, and that she's ready to get back her title tonight. We also saw the return of Charlotte Flair, who has been out for a couple of weeks now, and she cut a promo talking about not being welcomed at WrestleMania. She wasn't a part of WrestleMania, and basically just cutting a promo like a heelish promo, talking about that she doesn't give opportunities, she is the opportunity. So stuff like that. Then we had the Raw Women's title rematch between Rhea Ripley and Asuka, which ended in a draw because Charlotte Flair got involved. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke attacked Nia Jax backstage when Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler were watching the video and making fun of Mandy Rose when she slipped at WrestleMania on night 1 because of the wet weather they had out there over the weekend. Then we had a promo from Alexa Bliss talking about her actions at WrestleMania, where she cost The Fiend the match against Randy Orton. She then introduced her new friend Lily, which was a doll sitting on the swing set next to Alexa. We had a Miz TV segment with Miz's wife, Maurice, talking about what happened at WrestleMania, also talking about their show that was premiering tonight after Monday Night Raw on USA. They would be interrupted by Damian Priest. Then this would lead to Miz and Morrison versus Damian Priest in a handicap match, which Miz and Morrison would win with the help of Maurice. We had a Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler interview where they talked about what happened, where Nia Jax talked about what happened with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke attacking her. We had a tag team match. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, the women's tag team champions. They were victorious over Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke via countout when Nia Jax got knocked out of was on the outside of the ring. She went to come back in the ring, but she slipped on the apron and fell to the floor. And this irritated her because Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke were laughing. And then when she got back in the ring, Mandy and Dana left and got counted out. So that was pretty much it for that. We had an MVP promo talking about Lashley's victory at WrestleMania over Drew McIntyre. Drew would come out wanting a rematch. Strowman would come out wanting the same thing. Randy Orton would come out and make a claim to the WWE Championship. This would bring Adam Pearce out, and Pearce would make a triple threat match between the three, Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton for later on in the show, with the winner going on to the next event, WrestleMania Backlash, that happens in 5 weeks, to challenge Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. We had a Strowman and McIntyre backstage segment. We had the New Day, who lost the Raw Tag Team titles on night 1 of WrestleMania to Almas and AJ Styles. They defeated Jackson Ryker and Elias. We had a Randy Orton promo. We had a Firefly Funhouse segment with Bray Wyatt saying that, this is going to be better. He's been reborn, all that stuff. And then in the main event, it was Drew McIntyre picking up the win in the triple threat match to become the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. And he will face Bobby Lashley for that prestigious championship at WrestleMania Backlash in 5 weeks. After the match, MVP would come out on the stage, and then out of nowhere, McIntyre would be attacked by, I believe it was T-Bar and Mace of the former Retribution group, and they would attack Drew McIntyre, and the question is why, going off of Monday Night Raw. So that was pretty much it for this week's episodes of AEW Dark, Elevation, and WWE Monday Night Raw. So with that being said, this has been my recap of both shows. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.